and she's like, oh yeah, that is a really healthy, really happy baby. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is I forgot how far along I was. Today's video is my 10 to 12 week update because as of today, I am 13 weeks, which is so crazy. I feel like I say this every time, but this week I'm going to be out of my first trimester, and so I'm like already a third of the way done with my pregnancy, which seriously blows my mind. It flew by, which kind of freaks me out because I need it to slow down just a little bit. I'm not quite ready for it to be June already. I decided since I'm filming this in December, I would film in my little Christmas area, do something a little different today. I keep hitting this ornament. I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing my ugly bedroom, so today we're filming in front of the Christmas tree and the stockings. All right, so let's just get into the update. So like I said, I'm 13 weeks today, so we're doing the weeks 10 through 12. Wait, that's not right. I already talked about 10. This is 11 and 12. Weeks 11 and 12. Yes, 11 and 12. I kind of feel like I'm getting some of that baby brain people talk about. Anyways, let's tell y'all what the baby looked like. So in week 11, the baby was the size of a lime at approximately 1.6 inches. And then in week 12, it was approximately the size of a plum at 2.09 inches. So it grew like a half an inch from weeks 11 to 12, which is so big and fast. It's crazy it grew that fast. So as of week 12, most of baby's critical systems are formed. They're about to enter growth and maturation stage in which organs and tissue will grow and develop rapidly. Baby's now developing reflexes, so if you poke him or her, you'll see movement. Baby is opening and closing fingers and curling toes. The brain is developing and things are changing really quickly. So baby is definitely growing, has grown. I have seen how much the baby has grown, which we'll get to really soon. But first, let's talk about symptoms. So not a whole lot has changed since last time. There's actually a couple of symptoms that I realized I forgot to talk about last time that I was experiencing last time and still experiencing, so I'll talk about those. But first off, the usuals, the nausea, the fatigue. I'm still nauseous here and there. It's still so much better than it was in weeks 5 to 8. When I talked about how horrible my nausea was, that's when it was the worst. Still happens here or there, but it's nowhere near as bad. Fatigue, I'm still definitely more tired than my normal non-pregnant self, but I'm feeling so much better than I did in the past, even better than I did in the last update. The last update I said I was starting to feel a little bit more normal, even more so this time. So that's great because I'm finally getting some energy back. I'm still going to bed really early, but I'm able to get more done throughout the day, and that's been amazing. Like my house has actually been cleaned up for like the first time during this pregnancy. So the symptoms I forgot to mention last time that are still occurring, first is my skin. I feel like it's a little better in weeks 11 and 12, but weeks 9 and 10, it was horrible. It's still bad. Like I have a lot of breakouts right now you can't see because the magic of lighting and makeup. But I have a lot of breakouts going on, especially around like my mouth area, which is known to be very like hormonal acne. So I'm definitely having that, still having that. And then the other one that I have been having that I also started in the last time, so started in weeks 9 and 10. I seriously feel like if I say this word, my video is gonna get demonetized because every single one of my videos gets demonetized because apparently pregnancy, birth, and Stitch Fix hauls are so inappropriate. They always wind up being monetized in the end, so it's fine, but I have a feeling this word is gonna get me demonetized because YouTube is very flawed right now, and that word is constipation. TMI, welcome to a pregnancy update, but constipation has been real. Everyone talks about it being a pregnancy symptom, and this is one that I really and truly thought I would not have. And this is gonna be TMI again, but this is because before I found out I had celiac disease, before I found out I was allergic to gluten and I was like seriously messed up internally, my stomach was really messed up back then to where I would be constipated all the time. And then it would be like the opposite, like it would be one extreme or the other all the time. I was never normal. But then once I went gluten-free and my intestines were able to heal and everything got back to normal, I became very, very, very regular. Very regular. And so I thought that because I was so regular that there's no way constipation was gonna happen to me, because that's just not something I experienced once I had healed and gone gluten-free. But it's been happening and it's been bad, and it's not been fun, and it's not something I'm used to anymore. So that's been like the biggest thing that's new and like burdensome. I've been relying on these gummy Vitafusion, like fiber gummy vitamins kind of things, and those have been helping. It's not like extreme to where I'm like in horrible pain like I know some women can have, but it's enough to be like a burden. So 2 more symptoms that are new as of weeks 9 and 10, but super minor. The first is veins. So I started getting more veiny like in my chest area pretty early on. I'd say like right around the time I found out I was pregnant, but in the last week, they've definitely gotten much worse. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but like they're very visible veins all up my chest now and like all around my boobs, and that whole area is definitely more veiny. And then the other new symptom that I've had this week is bleeding gums, which from what I've researched is 50% of women notice that their gums bleed more during pregnancy. And I have a dentist appointment coming up, so I've like really been flossing to prepare. Does anybody else do that? Like you're terrible at flossing the entire year until your dentist appointment's coming and you're trying to prepare your teeth so it looks like you floss, but they always know that you don't. That's what I've been doing. So I've been flossing more often, and I know that like gums bleed if you don't floss often, but my gums have been bleeding at a whole new level. Like one time I was flossing and I spit out like 3 mouthfuls of blood. Like it was a lot. So it's definitely something I'm gonna mention to my dentist, but from what I've seen, it's a pretty normal thing. Gums just bleed more often during pregnancy. Okay, so that's it for symptoms. Just really quickly, I wanna talk about, I had 2 doctor's appointments that were really exciting. So I mentioned in my last update that I was planning on switching to a midwife and that I had an appointment scheduled with her in week 11. So I went to that appointment, I met her. She was great. If you watched my last update, you'll know I was very disappointed with how my first prenatal appointment went. This was an entirely different thing. Like this was worlds better. She was so patient. She answered all of my questions, made me feel really good about everything, and it went really well. So I'm going to be continuing my care with this new midwife, and she brought in a little Doppler to listen to the baby's heartbeat, and she said at this point, you know, don't freak out if we can't hear it because it's still so small, and it's the first time that like anything was being done over my stomach, not intravaginally. So she said, you know, if you don't hear it, don't worry, that's normal, but we might hear it. And so she put the Doppler on and she found the heartbeat pretty much right away, and she's like, oh yeah, that is a really healthy, really happy baby. Like it was clear and strong and easy to hear. And so that made me really happy, because I'd said I had been kind of nervous because I hadn't seen or heard the baby's heartbeat since week 8, so it had been a while. So that was just super reassuring that everything was good. And then the next week, week 12, we had our 12-week ultrasound where they just check that everything is growing properly. They just check for any abnormalities. They take some blood work, which I'm still waiting to get the blood results back. They said it takes like a week, and it hasn't been a week yet. But we saw the baby. I'll insert some pictures from the ultrasound. It was amazing how much it had changed. So the last time I saw the baby was week 8, and it was literally just like a bean. And this week, it was a full-blown baby. Like, it was a baby. You could see the little nose, which there's this one picture, which I'll put in right now, that I think is just like the cutest picture. The little nose is so cute. It had its little nose. You could see the feet, the hands. It was laying with like one arm behind its back, so it was just like chilling. Heartbeat was super strong, and everything looked good. Like I was measuring right on track still, so that was super good news. I asked, I was hoping that we could get like a guess at gender, and she was like, no, it's still too little to tell. And so we didn't get any guess at gender, but we have our appointment for the scan to get the gender as long as the baby cooperates at the end of January. So I cannot wait to find out what the gender is. I'm still so convinced it's a boy, but I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that little baby is a real baby now. I found out that my placenta is attached on the back side. The umbilical cord all looked good. We could see that as well. And it was just crazy to be able to actually see it. So now the next thing coming up is I have another prenatal appointment with my midwife at the end of December. Just like the normal routine. I don't know, they just see you every like 4 weeks. I think, I don't know, until you get closer to your due date. She said though overall that like my pregnancy was looking super healthy, and as long as every other test we wind up taking comes back, then like I should be having a really smooth, easy, healthy, good pregnancy. So of course things can change, you never know, but it's looking that way at this point, so that's great. I also asked her about labor because I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in a video yet, that both of my sister's daughters were born very quickly. Like the first one was literally like an hour, and that's not an exaggeration. And my mom with my sister had a C-section, but with me had a relatively quick birth in terms of what some women experience. So I'd asked her, I was like, is that any way genetic? And she said that sometimes it can be. So crossing my fingers that I also have a nice and quick birth. My sister and mom went drug-free, but my sister's were, because hers were so fast, there wasn't an option. But I would love to be able to be in a situation like that where it could just in and out, baby's here. That would be amazing. So I think that's just about it for this video. I'll show you the bump in just a sec. I don't think it's grown very much since the last one, maybe minimally, but it's not anything crazy. So give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you can be notified when my videos go live. So I'll show you guys the bump, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! So here's bump at the end of 12 weeks / start of 13. I hope you can see it. I can't tell when I'm filming. There's a hair in my lip gloss. I can just feel it.